We are back, and so is everyone. Almost everyone. For the Expendables 3. I'm still making my way through the Expendables films so that I can get to Expendables 4, which, ironically, I'm in the middle of doing this. And if you watched my video earlier, I gave something. I believe artists can celebrate artists. I'm a critic, so I celebrated other critics. I celebrated the other critics that I watch, and my pick for best critic, best my favorite critic or whatever. I don't know. Best is weird. Favorite is definitely the right word. My favorite critic of 2023 is Adam Does Movies, and he just released his worst list of 2023 while I'm in the middle of watching the Expendables films, and he put Expendables 4 as his worst film of the year. And I'm like headed into it. I'm sitting here in the middle of these Expendables films going, "Oh God, is it that bad?" And this is definitely a film that I think makes Expendables 4 look worse because and I'll get to that. Please click subscribe. I'm still trying to break 200. It's ridiculous. Do you know I'm at 199? That's it's fucking maddening. It's seriously, I'm losing my mind. It's like it's like literally I'm like laying there. I'm that football guy who's like trying to like slam the football the other side of the goal of the line so that I can get the touchdown, but I just can't get the football. You know, it's like wow, it's like I've been tackled like just short. The 1 yard line. No, I don't want to be on the 1 yard line, so click subscribe. Expendables 3 is directed by Patrick Hughes. I don't even know what Patrick Hughes has done. I didn't even click on it because I immediately just wanted to say, we went from Stallone to Simon West to Patrick Hughes. I feel like, I feel like we're on a trend downward. Yes, it is, yeah, it's a Patrick Hughes film, and it's PG-13. This one was PG-13. This is when they decided, you know what, the Die Hard franchise didn't really get great until they started making them PG-13. So we should do that with the Expendables films. Um, and it stars everyone, all of them except Bruce Willis. Everyone is back, except I guess Mickey Rourke never made his way back into the franchise either. So, as you know, heavy rain has been detected near my location. Sylvester Stallone is back, obviously, because he's the lead of the franchise. And the original Expendables are all mostly here. Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, uh, Terry Crews. Yeah, they're all back. Did Charisma Carpenter pop up in this? I don't think so. Um, they're all back. Arnold Schwarzenegger's back, and honestly has the most to do that he's had so far of the three films. Um, and we are joined by Harrison Ford, who's replacing Church. Bruce Willis did not come back for this film. And we also have a host of new actors. Some of them make absolutely total sense for them to be in this film. Wesley Snipes, done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Absolutely deserves to be in this franchise. Action films galore in his resume. Antonio Banderas. Are you kidding? Desperado? You think El Mariachi doesn't deserve to be in this film? Of course he does. Antonio Banderas is in this film. Ronda Rousey. I'm never going to tell her she doesn't deserve to be in this film because she can probably take me, and within 5 seconds, I would be dead. So, absolutely, Ronda Rousey gets the check mark. I would even argue, and this is sort of the debatable thing. This is where I get some people who go, that's the noise you're going to make in about 2 seconds. I've already predicted it. Mel Gibson deserves to be in this film. Yes, he does. He has a shit ton of action movies to his credit. And before you're like, but all this stuff that we canceled him, we can't, he's the villain. So, um, I get it when we're trying to make Mel Gibson seem warm and fuzzy and cuddly. But when you spend the entire film wanting Sylvester Stallone to kill Mel Gibson, I don't really see that as being problematic. he's he's somebody who's been in an action film. He's a big enough star. They had to follow up Jean-Claude Van Damme with somebody who felt appropriate. So I would say Mel Gibson is a solid choice for the third villain, third film villain. And then we have some people that it's kind of like, I don't know why you're here. Kellen Lutz. And pre-Top Gun Maverick, Glenn Powell. Now, Glenn is one of those people who maybe now would make sense. Like, if he appeared in Expendables 4, I could be like, I guess. But it's still a stretch. But Kellen Lutz and Glenn Powell don't belong in this film. I'm sorry. They just, like, they feel like the Liam Hemsworth thing, where, like, one of these things is not like the other. So, yeah. I know that Kellen Lutz has done some, like, straight-to-video action films, and he's done some films that didn't perform well. But you don't celebrate the person whose action films nobody watches. That doesn't suddenly make them... I feel like, the Russell Crowe moment. Is there no one else? Like, really? No, Russell Crowe would have been great, actually, in this film. But that we get what we get. So that's I don't know. I'm probably shortchanging some people. There are probably a few more people in this film. It's always a deep cast, so take what you want out of it. I don't know. Anyway, giant cast. And it took me like half the video just to describe the cast too. Basically the film is Sylvester Stallone and his old crew. They're out doing their thing, and then he realizes that an old villain, an old foe of his from back in the day, that was the original founder of the Expendables. I didn't realize that this group had been around long enough to have an original founder of the Expendables, and an original founder of the Expendables that, like, the old people don't, like, seem personally invested in. It definitely feels like Dolph Lundgren's Gunner would be all up in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely feels like he's been around long enough that he'd be like, yeah, I remember that guy. I'm an original Expendable. How is he not an original Expendable? That would be my question. But apparently he's not. So Stallone is like, I can't risk the lives of the people that I actually care about. So he goes out and he gets truly Expendables. And finds all these young people and has them join them on the mission. And they seem like they know what they're doing, but of course they don't. And then, like, the old Expendables have to come in and rescue the new Expendables. And then it's just like, oh my God, there are a lot of people in this film. So many people in this film that, like, when you look at the cast of the fourth film, you're like, why didn't more people come back for this? Why is this just, like, vacant of original cast members for the most part? Anyway, yeah, it's and some people are interesting. I really liked Antonio Banderas' energy in this. I thought he was great. That's pretty much my only takeaway from the film. Is that Antonio Banderas is great. Arnold's good here. He's fun. He's funny. He has, like I said, he has more to do. Mel Gibson is an excellent villain. He's very smarmy. So this works out well. We spend so much time, Kelsey Grammer. I forgot Kelsey Grammer pops up in this. So Stallone has to recruit a new group, and oh my God, it takes so long. Oh my Jesus. Have we heard of montages? Have we? It feels like it could have been a montage, but it's a really long one where we have to fly and he has to go introduce himself to all of the new members, the new Expendables, and see what's their thing, like what do they got going on. And so he goes and introduces himself to every single new member of the team and invite them on this journey. And that segment takes way, way longer than it ever needs to be. It feels like it's padding. It feels like this film knew it didn't have anything going for it, so it needed this giant recruitment segment to just bog down the film. Once we get past that, it's fine. It's pretty much an action film. It's pretty predictable, but we're talking about the Expendables films. I don't think they're trying not to be smart here. I mean, I don't think they're trying to be smart here. I think this is kind of a little bit par for the course. Is it a step down? Sure, it's a noticeable step down. It's very weird to just keep leaving out to see those big names and him. Like, at no point did I actually believe that they brought back all of those actors to just stand there and watch Stallone leave with Kellen Lutz and Glenn Powell. I didn't think that was going to be. I was like, yes, this is definitely. I've seen this film before too, but I think the first time through, I was like, yeah, this is definitely not a film where we're never going to see Jason Statham, Jet Li, and all the others again. This Kellen Lutz is not taking over this franchise, so um, yeah, so that's it. That's the fun. Audio description here was done by Deluxe with Ron Snow at the narration. He sounds fantastic. Ron's got a great voice, especially for action films. Definitely. I feel like I don't hear his voice enough, so I feel like I feel like I have him as like a little bit of an underrated narrator. But when I do get to hear it, when he does come in clutch, it's a great voice. He's great on this for an action series. Um, the action sequences are really well described. Um, Turns out that my fears about Expendables 2 were realized, that it was just done back in the day, and I got an explanation sort of about how sometimes studios don't balance it's up to them to balance their own tracks, and sometimes they don't. So it's probably like a studio problem when they released the film straight to video. Uh, when the audio description is created, it's usually created for theaters and they balance it for theaters, but then it doesn't get balanced for home video. Anyway, it was like this really complicated thing. However, it's balanced really well here, and you can tell. And there was only like one little instance where somebody said something and the narration was still going. And I don't think what they said was important. I think it was just like a throwaway line anyway. I think it was just like somebody being like, "Oh, whatever," like it's a big, like it was just some bullshit reaction. But we did walk over a line, but I think we only walked over one line, and I think that's pretty good for an action film. So, um, not bad. I was pretty happy with this, especially considering Expendables 2 is maddening. Um, it's so maddening. In terms of audio description, the balancing more than anything else is just absolutely. Um, when I talk about trampling, I still nothing will ever beat Jolt. I don't think anything can ever beat Jolt. Jolt was done by AI technology from Amazon Prime. And just to give you quick context, even though I'm lost in the middle of this review, there's like a lot of exposition slash narration being done by Kate Beckinsale's character at the top of the film, all of which has audio description on top of it. So it's like Kate Beckinsale is doing a lot of talking, and there's a lot of audio description on top of her, and it's very like a clusterfuck, and it's actually balanced quite well, so you can't really understand anything anybody is saying. It'd be like if I hired somebody else to just stand next to me and talk at the same volume level as me about something completely different. You'd be like, what is happening? That was how Jolt starts. When it was on Prime Video. I don't know if it's still on Prime Video, but yeah, audio description, not great. Here, one little line. It was a throwaway line. I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. Um, I needed to be able to follow the action sequences and who was shooting at who and did anybody get shot and oh my god, what happened to the team and because you can't lose somebody if somebody goes missing from the screen. You're like, did they die? What happened to so and so? Where's that person? I haven't seen them in a while. You start worrying about somebody's fate in the film. So, uh, like I said with the other ones, these are all pretty much the same. The first three, the third one, I would say is a slight step down. But if you liked these films, you either will or you won't. I don't think there are people out there that are like, well, I only like two, or I only like one, I only like three. These films are pretty much the same, and they're kind of offering you the same thing. Uh, this one just does it a little bit differently and has padding. It's padded. I did not need that giant montage to figure out who these new characters were. I felt like it was the kind of shit that MacGruber was parodying when he went and recruited all of those people and then blew them up in the van. So anyway, yeah. I'm gonna give the Expendables 3. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I gave the first two a B. This is a step down, so I'm gonna give it a B minus. We'll see how far Expendables 4 has fallen, or if it's fallen. I'm optimistic. I'll stay optimistic. It's just funny that my favorite critic named it his worst film of 2023. So that's life. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for clicking that subscribe button. I'm sure you did because I love you. And I have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know about his audio description where you can watch it. And you can go to the adna.org. That's the adna.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will watch Expendables 4 and see you guys on the other side.